to my video where I'll be talking about some of the most important and best tools for cosplay. These are the tools that I recommend for new cosplayers to get their hands on first. So let's get right into it. Why should you get a heat gun, you might ask? Can't you just use a hairdryer? Well, no, it's simply not hot enough. You need this hottie for reshaping your foam and heat sealing it. And make things dry faster when you're too impatient to wait. And of course, if you want to work with wobbler, the heat gun is simply a must. Okay, so you can get pretty far with just sandpaper kit, but the Dremel is not only way faster than sanding by hand, it also comes with some heads that are great for texturing in EVA foam. The Dremel is that kind of tool that once you have tried it, there is no going back.
I'm just gonna borrow your Dremel.
No! It's also worth mentioning that if you have weak as fuck wrists like me, then you can get the extension that will take some of that heavy burden of the Dremel from you. But not all of it. You'll have to do all the hard work and sand for hours and hours on end without food or drink or any breaks or any human contact for months and months on end. But hey, it's all worth it for the cosplay, right? I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. You can never have too many scissors. Told you! You need scissors for only cutting out wobbler, only cutting off wobbler, only cutting threads, only cutting paper. Scissors, they're great. Sculpting tools are great because they have multiple purposes and they come in handy in various situations. I originally got mine for sculpting wobbler, but I later discovered that some of them are quite good for foam clay as well. Today I also do clay sculpting and casting, so my collection has expanded a little. And yes, it is a cat sitting behind me, in case you're wondering. I left the spot for 5 minutes and when I returned, well, you know how cats are. Anyway, just like with scissors, you simply can't have enough knives. And not because they have different purposes. I mean, you cut things and you sharpen them and that's what you do with them. You have a lot because the more you have, the more scared your friends are gonna be of you. But it is quite nice to have different sizes. One smaller for finer work and an even smaller one for finer details. Ah yes, the glue gun, or as I like to call it, your best friend. Never has a friend been so loyal as the glue gun.
I'm never gonna finish this cosplay before the convention. I'll never finish it.
Don't worry, I got you, bro.
Well, nothing makes you feel alive as trying to finish a cosplay the day before a convention and see no other way out of it than glue your way through it. Not that I speak of experience or anything. The glue gun is great, but I would like to add that there are other glues and some of them are better for some jobs than hot glue. For example, contact cement is the best option for assembling foam parts. For far too long, hot glue was the only glue I used, and this topic is worth a whole video on itself. Getting a soldering iron depends on what you're gonna make. The main thing I use it for is to make texture on foam. But if you have any plans on working with electronics or LED, you will definitely need to get one. Otherwise you won't get very far. I guess it's self-explanatory. If you want to make costumes, you need a sewing machine. Unless you have a lot of time on your hand and you want to hand sew it all. So which one you should get? Try to remember that with sewing machines, you get what you pay for. I have a Singer sewing machine that was a little bit more expensive, but it has been serving me great for many years. Some good brands are Brother, Singer and Pair. but I'll link to some recommendations in the description. Also remember that your sewing machine doesn't need a lot of fancy functions. As long as the basics are good, you won't need all of that fancy stuff. Now that we are on the sewing area, I'm not going to talk about all the little things you can get for sewing, but what I do want to talk about is the iron. Now I'm guilty of having not used this enough in the past, but it makes your work look so much cleaner. And if you have any plans of making a high school skirt, you need to get your hands on one. I don't think many people have these, but they will for sure raise your life quality. This relative simple tool has many great purposes, and nothing is more painful than cutting circles in foam. But they're also great for making holes to insert things into. Keep your mind clean!
Here is an example where I used it to make holes into foam to hold the lights. This way it was much easier to insert it into the prop later.
If you're working with basically other materials than foam, you're gonna need a saw. PVC pipes, wood, metal. If they need to be cut, you won't get very far without a saw.
A perfect cut.
Oh well. Anyway, the coping saw is great for round shapes and metal, and the normal saw is great for wood and plastic. I really want to talk about markers because I think it's a tool that not many pays much attention to. I did it myself for many years. I just used a big black marker for everything. So here is what you're gonna need. The classic black marker for drawing lines or drawing after a blueprint. Smaller markers for drawing on wobbler or drawing on thinner pieces of foam. The size of your marker can make a difference on the precision of your drawing and later your cutting. And here comes the most important. The chance that the foam you're cutting is black is fairly big. So of course you should have a white marker. It sounds so obvious, but it took me way too long to get one. But once I had one, it was point of no return.
Oh, white marker! Ever since I met you, my life has not been the same. I love you.
Yeah, I think we should see other people.
I have saved the best for last. The knife sharpener. It's not expensive, but makes the biggest difference on your foam and prop work. I can't emphasize enough how important this tool is and how much of that precious life quality it gives. Let this clip do the rest of the talking. I actually made a sketch about this, so if you want to see how some of these tools can help you improve as a cosplayer, check out my video. And I think this is a good spot to smoothly finish up the video.
But just before that, I would like to add that there of course are a lot more tools for cosplay, and I might make a video for more advanced cosplay tools later.
Thank you so much for watching my video. If you have a tool you think is great for cosplay, let me know in the comments, and I really hope to see you in another video. Hello, streamer cat. Okay. It was a great talk.